Hey y'all, welcome back to Brave Kids Art Club. Thank you guys so much for showing up. My name is Brad, and today we're gonna be doing a really fun drawing of a very, very colorful animal. This animal can fly, it loves to sit on pirates' shoulders, and some of them can talk. Do you know what it is? You guessed it, today we are going to be drawing a parrot. Parrots are known for their really brightly colored feathers, so of course we're gonna have a whole lot of fun coloring these in. So are you guys ready to draw some parrots? Perfect. Okay, let's get started. In order to draw along with me today, make sure you have a nice clean sheet of paper. Make sure we have our pencil ready, sharpened, and some erasers handy. And then we need to have a marker or a pen that's dark so we can do our outline. And at the end, we're gonna do some coloring. Man, I cannot wait to do the coloring. I know I said this before, but we're gonna be doing parrots. There's so many different bright colors. You'll have to look up some pictures of parrots because they come in all different colors. But before we get to color, of course, we need to do our sketching. So let's sketch out where our parrot is gonna be on our page. We've gotta compose our page a little bit, and then we'll make sure we have everything ready before we put our line work down. All right, so let's start in the top left-hand corner where the head of our parrot's going to be. We're gonna kind of start with a circle up here in the top left. I'm not really sure how big to make this, so I'm just gonna kind of roughly put it in here. And we can make that a little smaller if we need be. And then let's draw like an upside down raindrop or a teardrop. Raindrop sounds a little more positive than a teardrop, so we'll call it a raindrop. And this is going to be the feathers / body of our parrot. So we're going to kind of go like this. Does that make sense? So if you were to flip this upside down, you'll be able to see that this looks like a little raindrop. All right, so we need to connect the two before we can start drawing things like the beak. But I'm gonna kind of draw a line back here, maybe a little bit further up like this. There we go. I like that line a little better. Draw that line back there, and this is just gonna come up to the top of this rounded head right here. So we don't need to necessarily follow that circle. It's just gonna be kind of a guide for us. And then we're going to have this curve down a little bit. So it's going to go up and curve. And then we're going to draw another line straight back here. So we're going to connect the two. So this is now we're making the neck. And here's the head. And here's the wings / the body of our parrot. And maybe these are a little too far away. So we can also make the wings a little bit bigger if we want. And then it's easier just to kind of erase things as you go. I like to erase things as I go. Makes my life a whole lot easier. There we go, so I don't get confused at what part actually needs to stay. Got the wing, got the head. And then I'm just gonna draw maybe a line right here, right under here. So it's not, you'll see that it's gonna be flat right there. And I'm going to try to make a few marks at where the head's going to end up. So maybe it's going to be about this big as where the eye's going to be. They have a nice little white patch of no feathers right around their eyes. The kind of parrot, I should say, not all parrots are like that. The parrot that I'm drawing is a macaw. This one actually more specifically, when I color it in, you'll notice that it's a scarlet macaw just by the coloring. But yeah, macaws are really cool, and they're actually pretty big. They're really big birds. So let's draw that little part around the eye. So all I'm going to do is just kind of do a half circle right here and kind of connect these two like this. Does that make sense? And then on the top, this is just going to round off and go down in a straight line all the way down to the body. Do we need to erase some lines? I think we do, because a lot of these lines are they might be throwing you off, and I don't want that to happen. They're kind of throwing me off too, so this will be good for all of us. So you see what this is doing? You see the shapes that are coming out? There we go. So for the beak, let's see if we can kind of start right here. Just work right off of the circle we already got going on. And we're going to kind of go straight down with a curve and curve it down. Their beaks are really unique because they're really, really strong. They can crack like the toughest nuts out there, like macadamia nuts. They can even crack open coconuts. Now, I've tried to crack open a coconut before when I lived in the Philippines, and it is very, very hard. It is not easy, and they can do it just with their beaks. Okay, so we'll have that go all the way down, and then it's gonna kind of go up with the big curve, and it's gonna kind of go right here in the middle-ish, maybe a little bit lower, right there, maybe a little lower. Does that look good? And then they have another little shorter beak on the bottom, and we'll just curve that right into this part of the head. I like it when things match up in my illustrations, like different shapes meet up or lines all connect in the same spot. That's just me personally. I like to do that so that it looks a little cleaner and things make more sense, because it looks like that's how they're supposed to be put together. It's just for me. If you draw yours different, that's totally cool. Let's go ahead and draw the eye there so we can kind of get a sense of what we're looking at here. And he can get a sense of what he's looking at. No, not funny. All right. Draw a big old eye right here. Maybe a little bit bigger. Whoa. And then we'll draw a big pupil in the middle, looking over at us. We'll clean that up with this. And then maybe at this point, I think they have a lot of feathers kind of on their chest as well. So you kind of want to make those out like this, doing a little curve, and just have that kind of poof out on the chest. There you go. We'll have that poof out. Got the big feathers. Now maybe we're going to move these back. That head's getting pretty big, so maybe I want these feathers to be even bigger back here. Pull them back. Pull them back. We haven't done the pins yet, so we're okay. We can still afford to do that. That's why we do the sketching. Get all of our mistakes out and kind of clean everything up beforehand. I'm going to draw some little more feathers on the chest. So just do kind of like half a teardrop. Bloop. And then maybe go bloop, bloop. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know if I'm convinced on that one yet. And then about halfway through on our parrot's feather here, or body, let's add some feet. So we're going to just kind of draw a circle right here. A little circle. They actually have really big claws. They actually have 4 toes, 2 on the front, 2 in the back, and they got really big sharp claws to hold onto the trees. And they look kind of scary looking, actually, those claws do. Really strong. Okay, we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna draw a little line coming out of it like this, and then another one down here running parallel to it, means the same distance apart. And then we'll maybe just have this go off. This is gonna be a little stick. Does your stick have to look exactly like mine? It does not. You can draw whatever kind of stick you want. If you want to add some leaves or whatever, put them in the jungle, that would be awesome. But we're going to draw this stick there. And then to make this look like it's part of, it's coming out of that claw, I'm just going to do a half a circle right here. Now that's a little bit more advanced. It's adding some dimension. That means it doesn't look like it's flat. It looks like it's coming out and then it's holding on to it. So it's a little bit advanced, but I think that'd be a kind of a cool little part to add to yours. And then we'll just kind of have it come out on the other side, I think. Maybe with like a little knot in the tree. Like that. Maybe it got a little bit bigger over here. There we go. That head looks really big. Does that look too big? No? We good with that? The head can be kind of big. We can move this bigger. Worst case scenario, we'll just keep making that body bigger and bigger and bigger. And then at the very bottom, they're going to have a really long couple feathers as their tail. They have those going straight down. I don't have enough room on my paper, but they go really, really long. Okay, that looks pretty good, actually. I think I like that. I had to make that body a lot bigger to make this look right, but I think that works. I'm going to actually go on this bottom part. I'm going to make it a little bit shorter and then add another one right here. You don't have to do that, but just to make it look like their feet are kind of like their toes are going over each other. Okay, I'm going to give them maybe some like feathers here. So I'm going to make it kind of do the wave pattern right there. And this is the fun part too. I love, like we did with the owl. I don't know if you remember the owl, But we did all sorts of really fun patterns in the wings and things because we could. Birds have lots of different feathers and they kind of go in different patterns, so you can kind of be okay with making whatever patterns you want in there. It'll still look like a parrot. Let me do some maybe smaller ones here, a little bit closer. Maybe I'll even connect some of them with lines. And then I'll add some more down here. I don't know, you can kind of go crazy with that on your own, but I'm gonna kind of just add a few layers on here because I want to color these in with different colors. And especially if I'm doing a scarlet macaw, there's specific colors that they have on them on certain parts of their body. Gonna add a few little extra feathers down here, maybe on the body, maybe some right here, just like little U's, the letter U. Just draw a few of those here and there. That might be kind of a fun little addition. I'm not sure yet. But I like that. I like how this is looking. It'll look a whole lot better with color, especially with this being a scarlet macaw. That's the one that you probably see the most, or at least I think I see the most, is people drawing with, they sit on like a pirate's shoulder. Like that's the kind of parrot they draw, is this colored one that you'll see. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable with where I'm at with my sketch, so I need to get my marker out and start outlining. Okay. Do that beak, to the bottom of the beak. Now I don't think I'm going to connect that line, but I will do a line straight from here down. It's a little wobbly. There we go. I like that. And then I'm just going to go up from the top here and go all the way, just continually do a curve until it straightens out right there into the wings. Then I'm going to do that part in the front, the little fluffy part on his chest. I think I'm just going to go with the generic name here, but I'm going to go with Polly. I just can't get the pirate thing out of my head, so we're going to go with Polly, like Polly wants a cracker. And you know where they get that, right? Where they actually mimic words? That's a real thing. Like, parrots can mimic human words. I think that's really cool. Yeah, parrots are very, very smart. They're the smartest of all the birds. And they're smarter than most animals, I would say. So they can mimic words because they can mimic all sorts of sounds. And the reason why they mimic sounds is because in the wild, they can use it as like a defense mechanism for one reason. Like they can, for example, if like a snake is going to try to get them, they can actually make a sound of a hawk, mimic the sound, or mimic means copy. They can copy the sound of a hawk that usually eats snakes, and the snake will be scared, so it'll leave it alone. Or it simply just mimics the sound of other parrots so that it can communicate with them, which is really cool. That's why they always do the parrot on the shoulder of a pirate talking. It's because they can actually imitate noises and even talk back sometimes. That's pretty fascinating. Here we go. There's some parrots that are as smart as like 4-year-olds, like 4-year-old humans, which is actually really impressive. They can do all sorts of like games and problem solving and other things. You'll have your parents help you look up some videos of parrots talking and just doing like solving problems and things. It's actually really neat to see. Okay, now we're getting all of our waves in here. And another one. I'm going to draw a couple lines down here. I could have done some more erasing beforehand, but I kind of know what I'm doing. I kind of had something in mind already. But if you needed to clean that up, you can clean up the sketches before you start inking. Okay, let's do these other little details right up here. Let's do a few of these U's. Kind of try to scatter them around. It's hard to draw things random when you're drawing them, when you're planning it out. But just try to put a few around here. There you go. Maybe a few over here, littler ones, to kind of show that he's got feathers all over his neck. These parrots live to be pretty old. I mean, some of the smaller parrots are like 25 to 30 years, which is still pretty long for animals. But the macaws, they can live up to like 100 years. They live the longest. they can live a long time. So again, if you have one as a pet, that could be a lifetime pet. So a lot of people are taking these out of the wild and bringing them in as pets, and because they got these really beautiful feathers and things. But it's sad because we're losing a lot of these parrots out in the wild. There's not as many out there anymore. A lot of them are endangered. All right, let's draw this eye. There we go. Oh. Circles are always scary to draw. I'm going to try to erase a little bit of the inside here real quick because I'm nervous I'm going to draw on the wrong part. Okay, I want to draw my own pupil here. I like where that eye is actually, and the pupil is in the middle. That's that middle part of your eye, the black part. We're going to make it nice and big. I'm going to fill mine in. You don't have to fill yours in if you want to do a different color. I'm going to fill mine in a little bit. And I'm going to make it a little bit bigger because I want it to look a little friendlier. There we go. Polly's looking pretty good. And let's do the feet here. The big claws on their feet. There we go. And let's draw that branch coming out that he's standing on. Now I just did this little circle right here. I don't know if you're this little oval. I don't know how many of you do many things that are dimensional, but it makes it look like it's at an angle, and so it makes it a little bit more interesting. So that's why I did that, but you don't have to put on that little piece if you don't want to. So I'm going to add this curve right here so it makes it look like the stick is actually round, not flat. I'm going to add the rest of the stick over here, and good. Oh wait, we got to do the bottom part right here. The last little feather that goes off the edge. The really long feather. They look really cool when they're flying. You'll have to look at pictures of them flying. Okay, I'm really liking how this is turning out. Maybe I'm just going to add a few more little lines right here around the eye. Sometimes they have these little black little lines around their eyes, and I think that's kind of cool because I'm going to leave this part white, and so it'll look pretty neat. So we're going to draw this little spot right under here, and then maybe just a few more little lines underneath the eye. Awesome. Well, I'm very happy with this. So now what I need to do, of course, is grab my eraser and start erasing all this stuff off of here because I'm going to be using markers, and markers it'll all show through. The pencil will still show through. So I'm going to try to erase as much as I can, and then I'm going to start coloring. So good luck with your coloring. I cannot wait to see what it looks like when you're done. When you're done, have your parents share it on Instagram. You can just tag us at Brave Kids Art Club. That way I get a chance to see it and everybody else does too. So let's get some coloring done, then we'll catch up right after. Sound good? Perfect. Okay. And I think Polly is finished. Well, I'm really proud of how mine turned out. How did yours turn out? Oh, good. Well, now that you're proud of what you did, we need to make sure that we do what? That's right, we need to sign our name on here so everybody else knows that we are proud of what we made. I'm gonna put my initials down there. And we are finished with our parrots. Thank you guys so much for joining me today and drawing. This has been a whole lot of fun. Like I said, this is always my favorite part of the day, so thank you so much. And then if you enjoyed this video, make sure that you like it and subscribe to the channel because we do these videos Monday through Friday every single week. So thank you guys again, and always remember to be brave, be creative, but most importantly, be you. Alrighty, see you guys next time.